All right, today we're going to talk about a pretty big idea, one that could totally change how your business thinks about growing. We're going to look at why most corporate education is really just a bunch of busy work, when it should be a powerful design system. Let's jump in. So let me just start with a direct question. Think about it for a second. Who actually owns education in your company? If you had to point to one person, who's really on the hook for its success?
For most companies, that answer is, well, it's messy, right? It might be the customer success team who's running the customer academy, or maybe it's sales enablement getting the reps up to speed, or the partner team with their certifications, or even product doing their own thing. It's kind of everywhere. And honestly, that's a huge part of the problem.
And that right there, that's the core of the issue. We have all this educational activity happening all over the place, but the one thing that would actually make it powerful, strategic alignment, is almost never there. Just picture it in your own company. You've got customer education happening over here, you've got partner training happening way over there, sales enablement is off in another corner entirely. Every single one of these teams is working their tails off, making content, running programs, but they're all in their own little worlds. There's no single unifying strategy that ties it all together. And here's the real kicker. When education is that fragmented, it just becomes noise. It's a bunch of disconnected activities, and yeah, it feels productive for sure, but it doesn't actually create a real, lasting competitive advantage for the business. So what's the fix? Well, it's really a shift in how we think. We have to stop just managing education and start deliberately designing it. We need to build in a layer of architecture. Okay, so look at this comparison. It really lays it all out. On one side, you've got what most companies do, managed education. It's totally operational, stuck in silos, reactive, and it almost always starts with buying a tool. But over on the other side, that's the goal. That's architected education. It's strategic, it's aligned across the whole company, it's obsessed with outcomes, and it's deliberate. It starts with a business goal, not a piece of software. That's the huge shift we're talking about. So, let's get specific. What do we even mean by strategic education architecture? Well, it's the conscious, deliberate design of your company's entire learning ecosystem. It's not about making more courses. It's about making sure every single piece of education for customers, for partners, for your own teams is directly tied to the company's biggest strategic goals.
So the real gap in most companies isn't tactical. It's not like you need to hire another trainer or one more person to manage the LMS. The piece that's missing is strategic. It's an architect, someone who can zoom out, see the whole system, and actually design it to achieve a specific business outcome.
And this brings me to one of the biggest mistakes I see companies make over and over again. They put the technology before the strategy. It's a pitfall, and I call it the tool trap.
I mean, does this sound familiar? A team goes, hey, we need an education program. And what's the very first thing they do? They go shopping for a new LMS. Then they scramble to pump out a bunch of content to fill it up. And then, a few months down the line, leadership comes knocking, asking to see the ROI, and it's just crickets. The whole program just stalls out because it was built on tech, not on a real strategy. And that's the fundamental flaw in that thinking, right? Companies buy these big, powerful platforms hoping the tool itself will magically create a coherent strategy. But it just doesn't work that way. A tool is just an empty box. It can only execute the strategy that you designed first. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? You can't demand a return on investment from a system that was never architected to produce a specific, measurable business result in the first place. That's like asking for directions after you've already driven halfway to the wrong city. It's just too late. So let's flip this around. What happens when we get it right? If we actually make that shift from just activity to a real advantage, what does that look like? What are the actual business results we can expect from designing our education systems this way?
Well, the results are the things business leaders actually care about. We're talking about really speeding up how quickly customers get value. We're talking about seriously boosting product adoption and directly lowering churn. It means creating a market that understands why you matter, building partner ecosystems that actually drive revenue, and making your sales and success teams way more effective. These aren't soft, fuzzy metrics. These are core drivers of growth. And if you take away only one thing from our time here, please let it be this. The secret to getting all those amazing outcomes isn't just making more courses or more videos. The massive, game-changing difference is intentional, strategic design.
Ultimately, this completely reframes how we should see the entire function. Education is not just a support team or a cost center you have to deal with. When you architect it the right way, it becomes one of the most powerful strategic levers a company has to drive adoption, keep customers happy, and grow the business.
So, I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. Take a hard look at your own organization. Right now, is your education system just operating as a reactive support function, or, with the right architecture, could it become your next major strategic lever for real, sustainable growth?